Hi, this is where I start my day. The first thing I do when I come into the studio is pop into our little office. Like most dance studios, I think at this time of year, many have got shows going on, examination sessions, Christmas of course. The office is not the most tidy of places. We have papers going for this, that and the other. We have two monitors here. The first thing I would probably do is look at the emails. No, I'm telling a lie. I actually have somebody else to look at the emails for me and tell me what to do. If I'm totally honest, I don't like paperwork. I still love to teach. And I think from this point in the office, we'll say goodbye and I'll see you in the ballroom. Hi, great to see that you've joined me back. My name's Michael King, and we're going to cover all things dance. Today we're going to cover a ballroom dance, and we're going to start with a walk. Now that sounds like a really strange thing to do. I think there are some primary directives, a little bit like Star Trek, when we do this. And I think one of the primary directives, of course, is the hold, the stance, which we will cover, but also the walk. When we dance ballroom, we class 3-4 of the dances as swing dances. In other words, the leg moves. The leg swings past the other. One of the common mistakes that you tend to see, if you think about it sensibly, unless you've got some form of condition, or you're John Wayne, you wouldn't walk like that. One leg would always pass the other. Now I would call this a prime directive, so that every step that you take, there is a feeling that the leg comes through. I have a little saying that Confucius say, man who no stand on one leg nor other will fall on arse. And the times that you see people when they're learning to dance, trying to dance that on a waltz is absolutely untrue. All the same with the foxtrot. You see somebody dancing a foxtrot and they will dance that. So one foot will always pass the other. Now this actually makes pure sense. As you walk down the floor or walk in the street, you would walk one foot past the other. This will have a knock-on effect. Everything in dancing, one thing affects another. And it has so many developments out, like a tree basically. Let's take a reverse turn in foxtrot as our example. If we take our step forward, and we'll come on to CBMs in a different video, and CBMPs and what all these clever words mean, and they're very, very simple if we understand them. As we take our next step, that foot position will come through. It will not rotate off the left foot to take the leg to side. There will be a feeling that the side will come through, one foot has caught the other, so it might finish to side, but the mechanics of it have actually gone through from a forward position to an end position. If you just started your dance career, whereas a child or an adult who's learning to dance a spin turn, you will be taught that your spin turn as a lady will have a brush point. Well, in reality, yes, of course, it does brush point. And I think we see so many children who will learn this art of going in, out. But in reality, it's the foot coming into a center point so that you've got balance to take you off onto your next step. Really, really important. When you're seeing professionals take their theoretical examination, you see so often 4, right foot back, 5, left foot to side and slightly forward, plonk. If we use this rule of one foot passing the other, it works quite beautifully. So we'd have 4 right foot back, 5 left foot to side and slightly forward, but I'm passing the foot through to get to that position. It then makes everything theoretically, and I think we'll do a theoretical session as well at some point in time. Perhaps we can call it Theory Tuesday. Theoretical Tuesday. That sounds quite good, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a good one. So We would have the foot position in the correct position to side and slightly forward in relation to the other foot. It's pointing in the direction we're going. The body is in the right shape. It's also created the correct footwork. I think some of the problems that you have when you're learning to dance and you're getting interested in dance is the amount of times that people go to the library and get a book out. They'll get a theoretical book out. I think that's a little bit like teach yourself brain surgery. There are many, many, many good teachers out there. Get down to a good teacher. And you might say, well, my teacher doesn't tell me this. You've also got to remember that dancing is about development. Everything goes on every day that I walk into a studio. Hopefully I learn something new. It's a little bit like a child having an overcoat. The overcoat might be fabulous, really good quality, but there reaches a point when that child outgrows the overcoat. And that's what happens with your dancing. You need to move on. What you're being told, that overcoat at that time in your development is really, really good for moving on to the next stage of your dancing. The idea of one foot passing the other within a framework, and the frame we're going to talk about at a different time, is very, very important. There are exceptions, of course, to these things. There are things called pivots and pivoting actions. And if you're new to dancing, we will explain these in different videos. It's going to be really, really quite exciting. It's a lifetime journey. It's an exciting journey. When we dance a pivot, the leg line is slightly open to allow the partner to step between. We turn, the leg line becomes crossed. Obviously, if we're going to dance that, we can't have one foot passing the other. So there are exceptions to everything that we do. This really is a very basic understanding of the swing dances, the waltz, the foxtrot, the quickstep, the Viennese waltz. Just as a matter of interest, the Viennese waltz is the grandfather of all ballroom dancing. It has to be. It's the first time that a man held a woman in ballroom hold. So the way in which we move, the way in which we learn to turn, must come from Viennese waltz. It was absolutely outrageous when it came. Viennese waltz, it was basically like doing pole dancing for your grandmother. It was outrageous. But of course, all the techniques must come from Viennese waltz. And one of the things that we learn is that as we step, we must pass the leg. We must pass the leg. Now, obviously, if you're stood slap bang wallop in front of each other, that's not going to be possible. And that's something that we will cover in a future video of where we're going to place the partner in relation to yourself. So if you're dancing the leader, you will have a certain frame, and they talk about frame on Strictly all the time. Whilst we're on Strictly, the amount of people that come in to a dance studio and suddenly expect to dance like they do on Strictly in a week. I think there are certain things that we must appreciate. Many of the celebrities dancing on Strictly have had some form of dance training. Many went to stage school. Not all of them, but many did. They're dancing 8 hours a day with a professional with one routine. Are they learning to dance? No, they're learning to perform a routine. I think that needs to be clarified. Some of them do an extremely, extremely good job at it though. I think really that's as much as I need to do for today. So, hope you've enjoyed it and see you later.